basically I want to do a reading vlog, but I'm a little bit in a slump right now because I read The Favorites by Leigh Fargo, I think that is. Anyways, and it was so good that no book will ever live up to it. So basically, I started reading Cascade Failure. I can't remember who it's by right now. And then I started reading Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher, I think. And it's good, just not what I expected. So I'm softy and effing that for now. But I picked up Happy Place by Emily Henry, which is my second Emily Henry book. My first one is Funny Story. And so far, this is good. But I'm not that far into it. I'm only on chapter 9, which is page 89. So we're gonna start with this, and then maybe it'll get me out of my reading slump, but we're gonna start there. We'll see what I read after that. I have a few ideas, but I'm not quite sure. So I'll keep you guys updated. So it's the next day. I read a bit more of Happy Place. I'm on page 144 now. It's pretty good. I think I like Funny Story better, but this one is still pretty good. It's starting to pick up and I'm starting to want to read it a bit more. But like, I'm still at the point where I'd rather be watching videos and doing anything else other than reading. So like, I won't pick it up if I have any free time. I just pick it up because I should be reading, not because I want to read. And so we need to work on that. And then I went over to my grandma's house earlier today, and she let me pick out some of her books to borrow. The first one is called A Killer Maze. It's a cozy mystery. The main character, Harriet, in this book really likes cozy mysteries, so I was like, I guess I'll give one a chance, and my grandma likes reading those, so I picked up that. Not quite sure what it's about, but I mean, a murder in the maze, so there's probably a murder in the maze. Then I got Home by Harlan Coben? I don't know. Anyways, basically it's about how these two boys got kidnapped from some wealthy families, and so it's like, what, 10 years later? And I'm guessing something resurfaces. It's kind of creepy, I'm sure. I don't really know anything about it, but it sounded good, so I picked it up. And then Not a Happy Family by Sarah Lapena? Shari. By Shari. All I know is that I've seen people talk about it and it kind of sounds good. And also, I love reading about rich people problems. And then I got 3 James Patterson books. I've never read any of his books, but I want to give them a try, so I just got the first 3 books in this series, and we'll see how I feel about it. I don't really know. It takes place in like San Francisco, something to do with fires. I kind of don't like that his face is on the back, but like, it is what it is. And then lastly, I got Diamond Rings and Deadly Things. Basically, it's about this girl who she was planning a wedding and helping with a wedding, and then her best friend and one of her clients ends up getting murdered, and so she's like, I need a break, and moves away and basically starts anew. So I'm excited for these. Maybe I'll pick one of these books up next. I kind of have an idea for what I want to read next. Not on this, but then maybe after that I'll pick up one of these books and we can read that. But for now, we're continuing with Happy Place. Okay, so I finished Happy Place. It was pretty good. I gave it 3.25 stars. I definitely liked Funny Place better. To me, I think maybe I just don't like second chance romances, because I was just, every single time the main love interest said something like romantic, I was just like, okay, so why did it end in the first place? And so that kind of annoyed me, I think. And then like there was like, I don't know, 10%. Like when you like this much left, they were basically together. And then they like got together, but like I could tell that, and I'm like, okay, there's not gonna be a second act breakup. So yeah, so 3.25 stars, but it was still good. But I decided what book I'm gonna read next. I'm going to read All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've read the first 2 books in the series. Do I remember what happened in them? No. But am I gonna go back and read them? Also no. I looked up some TikToks and I remember now what happened in the second book, but I still, like, I know what the ending happened, like I know who it was in the first book, but I can't remember what it was about and what happened really. But yeah, so I'm gonna start this. I'm excited. I started a while ago, but I can't really remember what happened, so I'm just gonna restart it. Okay, so I finished All In, and it was so good. Like so I started and I was like, this is probably gonna be 4 stars, and then it just got better and better and better, and like things just kept adding up. And then I mean I guessed some of it, but like, and I like guessing things. I like trying to solve it, and I'm happy whether or not I do solve it. So with mysteries and thrillery books, if I solve it, I'm kind of happy about it. Whether or not I solve it, I'm happy about it. So yeah, I don't know if I want to read Home first or if I want to read Not a Happy Family first. So I'll probably read a little bit of both of these and then pick whichever one I want to read. Okay, so basically I decided to pick up Not a Happy Family because I read a chapter of both, and I read a chapter of Home first, and I was like, this is okay, maybe I'll pick up this one. And then I picked up this one, and then I read the prologue, and then I read the first chapter, and then I read the second chapter, and I kind of just kept reading it. So I was like, okay, looks, I'm gonna read this one. So I'm now 100 pages in, and I'm on chapter 15. It's alright. I'm not loving it, I'm not hating it, but like, I love reading about rich people problems, as I said. So I'm gonna continue with this. I haven't been able to read too much because I was pretty busy today, and I started reading it last night. So today I went to the zoo, so I might put in a couple clips of that. But other than that, we're gonna continue this. I'm over 50% of the way through this book. It's pretty good. It's better than it was at first, and now I'm to the point where I don't want to put it down. But I had to put it down because I have to go to work, but I didn't want to put it down. So I'm probably not gonna be reading much more tonight, because when I read thrillery books, if I read after like 5, 6 p.m. It kind of affects my day. So probably not going to be reading anymore today, but I probably will finish it tomorrow. So I'm probably going to update you either tomorrow or probably tomorrow, honestly. Okay, so I have finished Not a Happy Family. I gave it 3 stars. I almost gave it 3.25, but then I realized that one of the other books I read in this video, I've already given a 3.25, and I like that book better than I like this book. So I was like, okay, this is probably a little bit lower. So 3 stars. What happens in this book is there's these 3 siblings, and these their two parents, they both get murdered, and the detectives think that it was one of them because they all had reason to do it, because they all would become very rich from it. And basically I was reading it and I kept being like, oh, it might be this person because we don't hear a lot from them. So I was like, oh, it's probably this person because we barely hear anything from them, and they're like the least likely suspect. But I was just like, oh, it's gonna be them, and I was right, it was them. But yeah, but I'm okay with that, like I said earlier. So it was alright. I didn't really like the writing as much as other books, but it was really fast paced still. It just kind of seemed all over the place because there was a bunch of point of views, and I have a hard time with multiple point of views sometimes. If it's like more than 2 people, I'm like, wait, who are we talking about? So yeah, 3 stars. And then on my Kindle, it's not up, but I read Lynn, and that one I really liked. That one I think I gave 4.25 stars. I can't remember. Anyways, but it was really good. It's basically, I don't know how much I could talk about it because it's the 3rd book in a series, but the FBI like recruits like people with special abilities, like their brain just thinks different, to help them solve cold cases. But like I'm not sure if this is a spoiler, but like so skip if you want, but at the end of the 1st book, they basically, 1st or 2nd book, I can't remember, they kind of become more FBI agents and help with current cases. So this one more had to do with like one of the main side characters named Sloan. So it was nice to know more about her. It was pretty good. I really liked it, and I'm excited to read the next book. Hopefully I'll read it soon because I'm like, what's gonna happen? Because there's so many plot twists at the end, and I kind of guessed some of it, but I was like, what? I was right? Like I was like surprised I was right because it was like super out there in my opinion, but it's really good. And I finished it, and I immediately wanted to get into the next book, but I promised myself I would read this book first. Give this 4 stars, 4.25 stars. And then I started the video reading Happy Place, very different than the last 2 books. But this one, this one I gave 3.25 stars. And it's basically about Harriet, I think. Yes, Harriet and Wynn, and they end up breaking up before the trip, like 3 months, I think, before the trip. And so they haven't told anybody yet, and Wynn wasn't supposed to go, and then he ends up being there. And so they basically have to pretend to be a couple for a majority of the book, and I really liked it. I think the characters, they kind of seemed immature for their age because they were kind of like in their 30s, but at the same time, I'm like, you are more immature with like your friends, around your friends and people you're comfortable with. So I kind of understand that. Also, I'm not 30, so maybe I'll understand more when I'm 30. Maybe I'll read it again when I'm 30, and we'll see if I relate to it or not. We'll see. But it was pretty good. I really liked it. But I like Funny Story more. But yeah. So 3.25 stars. And I think that's going to be end of this video. I think I'm mostly out of my reading slump at least. Usually if I can get through a book when I feel like I'm in a reading slump, after I get through an actual book, I'm usually over it. Or after I read like 2 books at least, I'll get over it. So I think I'm officially over it. So I read 3 books in the video. I don't really know what I'm saying, honestly. Anyways, so 3 books. I think I'm out of my reading slump, but we'll see. Maybe there will be another video being like watch me get on my reading slump. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.